everyone, bonjour and welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to be sharing how I shop for quality clothing, or how I make sure that what I'm buying and inviting into my wardrobe is of high quality. I am tricking you a little bit with this title and I'm sorry about that, but this is usually how the question is phrased when I get it. And unfortunately I don't just have a few brands that I like to go to for quality things. I wish it was that simple, but because of that I've definitely developed a few tips and tricks and guidelines that I like to follow and stick to make sure, to the best of my abilities, that what I'm picking out is of good quality, or that I'm shopping for good quality. If you're here for the first time, hello, I am Naya and this is my channel where I talk about style and beauty from a minimalist perspective. And because I have a rather small wardrobe, I tend to wear my things more often and therefore wash them more often, and because of that I need them to be of high quality so they can be resilient and last me a long time. When it comes to clothing, as well as so many other things, there are so much stuff to buy, and because of that I always advocate to get really clear about with yourself what you do and do not like, so that you don't just buy something that is pretty immediately when you see it because your crow brain turns on and screams for it. You are worthy of nice things, and only the best in its category is worthy of a place in its wardrobe, because when you do find the thing that checks on all your boxes, chances are you will actually cherish it and wear it and won't be tempted to go out and look for a better version of that item, which I think is something most of us are guilty of having done at one point or another. My first tip for shopping quality clothing is to know what you are looking for. Part of shopping smart and also having the patience to go out and look for something in high quality is knowing what you want. If you go out shopping and are not really certain of what you're out actually looking for, in my experience you're much more likely to buy something on a whim, and then you're not necessarily super interested in figuring out exactly how high quality the thing is. Searching for something of high quality makes absolutely no sense if you don't know what you're looking for. So part of shopping for something really nice, or the first part, is definitely knowing what nice thing you are looking for. For this I like to keep a wish list so that I always keep track of what I'm actually looking to add to my wardrobe, and so that I tend to give a little bit more thought to what I would like to add, and then I also in turn get more picky about exactly what I want that thing to look like, and I also get way more into the hunt of finding that thing in good quality because I'm already invested. My first really practical tip about looking for high quality clothing is to only go for natural fibers. Generally, if someone made a 100% wool blazer with a silk lining, it's a pretty good indicator that it's overall going to be well made, where if you find a blazer that is cut with polyester, it can also be an indicator. At least there's a better chance that, or a worse chance that that thing won't be good quality. Synthetics like polyester and acrylic is made from plastic, and I talk about this a bunch in my video, but it is really uncomfortable because it does a really crappy job at regulating your body temperature. It means that it's very easy to overheat in, makes it really uncomfortable in summer, and it's very easy to also overheat in but then get really cold after in winter, which obviously is also super uncomfortable. On top of that, polyester is super cheap to make. And so when you look at a garment and it's cut with polyester, how I see it is that it's probably done to cut corners, because it is absolutely possible to make a sweater without polyester. You could just have made it from pure wool or whatever. Of course there are always exceptions to every rule, but in general when something is made of polyester, there are going to be a better version of that thing out there, and it can definitely be an indicator that overall the garment isn't made with as much thought or as much care. Polyester and acrylics that are made from plastic, they first of all aren't sustainably made because it's plastic, but they also don't decompose. And before it even gets to there, every time you wash something of polyester, it releases microplastics into the world. And quality is also to a certain extent a little bit of a mindset. And when you go to certain stores that cut a lot of their sweaters, for example, or a lot of their natural fibers with polyester, I'm just like, the bigger picture is just trying to get things done cheaper at a pretty high cost for the environment and also your comfortability. The next thing I like to look for when buying quality clothing is to inspect the garment a little bit and go through a little bit of a checklist. First things first, when you pick out the clothing from a rack, or if you just view it online, or if you received it in a package already, are there any loose seams on the jacket that hasn't been cut? Are there multiple? Is the garment creasing already? Of course, something like linen and sometimes cotton is supposed to crease, but in general, if you find something that's supposed to fall in its entirety, or you're buying something that's not supposed to crease, if it does that already, I also consider that not to be high quality, because I mean, it's not gonna look nice. And high quality also means that a garment is fulfilling its purpose. And if you have a nice structured blazer but it's creasing really easily, then it sort of loses its purpose, and here I don't think that's the right quality that's been made. So these are also the things that I like to look for. And of the same sort, does the piece look like a mess inside? A lot of things like cheap blazers and jackets, they won't look so nice on the inside. This is where you will find loose seams or like knotty seams, or just something that looks like a mess. And on the other end of that spectrum, what to look for, in my experience, when you look at an inside of clothing and it's pretty organized, or if things have a lining and the lining looks well taken care of, or the lining looks organized, then it's a pretty good indicator that this is an item of high quality. One of the blazers I have that I do still like, it is an older fast fashion piece. It is a mango piece, and it's one I always get a lot of questions about because it definitely looks pretty from afar. I get it, but inside of it, it's a mess, and it is an indicator that it's not high quality, and it isn't. And along those same line, when you take the clothing and feel it, does it feel sturdy? Can you pull a little bit at it without any consequences? Or does it feel kind of flimsy? In which case it also might be best to leave that thing behind and keep searching. Then something else I always like to keep in mind when I'm looking for quality clothing is sustainability and cost per wear. A trend I see a lot on here on YouTube and just in general is more awareness about whether or not what you're buying is sustainably made. When we buy something that's sustainably made, obviously that's more sustainable, and it's also better for the environment, and it will also make us feel better. However, when I do go shopping for quality things, this tends to take a little bit more of a backside to my decisions, and it's only because I tend to think, rather than how is it made, I tend to think, will I wear this thing over and over and over again? Because it really does not matter if you buy something and you end up not wearing it a lot and needing to repurpose that item. That is already not super sustainable. So in my opinion, or just how I see things, is the most sustainable thing is the exact thing that I want, so that I will wear it for years on end. This is usually the goal I like to keep in mind when I go shopping for quality, and it's also why quality is so important to me, because I really want things to stick around for a really long time, look beautiful, and define my style for longer. When you buy something of high quality that you also really love, that means that you can and will wear it again and again and again, and every day you wear that item is a new day where you don't have to wear another new item, and that is also more sustainable because you need to buy less stuff. Sometimes you can be pretty certain that things aren't sustainably made, like with fast fashion, and you can also be super certain that you could find that thing of, or something similar or something better in its category that is of much higher quality. And for that reason, I don't shop fast fashion anymore, but I also don't tend to go for brands necessarily that are known for being sustainable or known for being sustainably made. Rather than that, I just want to be looking for garments that are exactly what I want in natural fibers. And one thing that I like to do for this is go secondhand shopping. This is pretty new for me. It actually took me a pretty long time to get into the idea of secondhand shopping, but now I find myself shopping a lot on Vestiare for high-end or luxury things. When you give things a second life and find something that you will want to wear again and again and again and just buy it from someone else, that's way more sustainable than even buying from brands that are making sustainable clothing. Then the next thing, yes, there's more, that I like to keep in mind when I go look for quality clothing is reviews. Here in Switzerland, the big online sort of department store or multiple brand online store, whatever you call that, is Zalando, and they have a pretty heavy review system which comes in pretty handy, and I find it super reliable because you'll also be able to read what other people have said about that item. And another place this is really great is on Etsy, where I've just gotten into shopping myself. I've been shopping for my summer clothing here, and on Etsy their review system is just so hardcore. If you're an online shop on Etsy and people don't like your clothing, it will show. But on the other end of that spectrum, if people like it, it will also show, and people will share their pictures with the thing, and they will generally write very descriptive reviews about what they got. Looking at places that already has reviews is super handy. In general, with these guidelines and just avoiding fast fashion and try to cut out polyester as much as possible are the most important part. But above all of this, the paramount thing when you do go shopping for quality is know exactly what you're looking for. If you're looking for a blazer, do you like one or two buttons, or does that matter to you? Do you like shoulder pads? Do you like a lining that's a different color than the outside of the blazer? Do you like rounded corners? Do you like square corners? First assessing everything that you like and do not like about the thing that you are looking for means that you're usually going to look for a longer time, and it will also make you shop less because it will take longer for you to find a nice thing. And for me, the result has sort of been that I've been able to also afford to spend a little more on things that I would before spend a little less on. And of course, having a little bit extra to spend on the item means that you'll be able to afford something that is better made as well. So let your preferences dictate whether a thing is high quality to you or not, first and foremost. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know it might have been a little bit abstract, but so many of my tips around shopping are more like philosophical and opinion based than they are actually very practical. And so for that reason, a video like this for me is just gonna turn out like this. But if you like the video anyway, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. And if you're here for the first time and not already subscribed, then consider doing so, because I would love to keep you around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!